Hey everybody, welcome back. Just a couple things before we get started. Here's where we are. You had a lesson on Thursday from Mr. Hagstrom, an enrichment day on the 8th. Here's the 11th lesson, um, and you got an enrichment day tomorrow. We'll probably post a checkpoint quiz tomorrow. Wednesday, now we have these days we call catch-up days, and we're looking at starting your quiz on this stuff on Friday. Okay, so 2 days for, we're kind of giving 2 days for everything. You got really one lesson this week. This is it. It's a little bit harder. There's a lot more involvement because of the math, but let's get going. All right, so we're on this thing called stoichiometry. And what we talked about in stoichiometry 2 is this idea of what Mr. Hagstrom did with mole ratios. So you have these balanced chemical equations, and you have these things called mole ratios. So we have this base equation, and then we can do mole conversions like you just did. You before you did this, you did this bracket right here. You did essentially what you did was you said, okay, moles of A, okay, moles to B, and you use this middle bracket. Well, now what we are going to do is we are going to add what we call grams, all right? And grams is just adding two more brackets on the front end and the back end of what you just did in your last lesson. All right, and the easiest way to teach you guys this is just to do problems, okay? And here's just an example problem that is on your worksheet that you will see, all right? You're going to need your periodic table. There's an attached periodic table in there as well. And just let me walk you through this map, all right? So if you, whatever you are given, okay, this is your map, the given number from the problem. So in this case, how many grams of O2 would be produced if you are given 20 grams of potassium chlorate, all right? So we want to figure out how much of that will we make, all right, if we had 20 grams. Whatever number they give you goes right here, and we always set that up for you. Okay, so that's something that you need to know is that we inputted that there for you in this bracket. All right, the next thing that we want to do is what we want to find. What do we care to find? We care to find grams of O2. Now, this is the same thing every time. All right, the first bracket will always have 1 mole. You never have to touch it. All right, but what you do have to do is you have to add up whatever the molar mass of whatever substance this is. So how I got 122.54 was I went to my periodic table, I added up potassium, chlorine, and 3 oxygens. All right, so adding those up, 39.10 plus 35.45 plus 3 times 16 gets me that number. All right, 1 mole of that. That's always, you will always have to fill in that bottom part. Add up whatever molar mass of the substance you have. The next part is called the mole ratio. It's just what you did. What goes on bottom is whatever substance is over here. So where I get this 2 from is I just pluck it from my balanced equation. 2, right? Then I go up top and I say, okay, I got 3. I pluck that right there and I put 3. So this is our uh, equation applier. All right. Every time, whatever substance you are given, find the number that's on the in front of it on the bottom, and then whatever you want to get to, put that number on the top. Cool. The last bracket is the same as the first, but it's just reversed. Okay, so we got these 3 brackets. We just did that one. The next one is to say, okay, 1 mole. That will always be there. You never have to touch it. Okay. What you do have to do though is you have to add up whatever substance you have. In this case, we have oxygen, so we have 2 of them, so it's 16 times 2. That's how I got 32. All right, now the tricky part becomes what happens when how do I input this into my calculator? The easy way to do it, okay, is take this number, multiply it by everything across the top, and then divide by everything on the bottom, okay? So 20 times 1 times 3 times 32 divided by 122.54 divided by 2, and then you'll get your answer. So multiply across the top and then divide by the bottom. So divide by everything on the bottom. Or what you can do is if you have fancy brackets in your calculator, okay, let me pull up scientific calculator. You can just do this. So we would say it's what's our first is our 20 times, do parentheses, 1 divided by, because that's the bracket, 122.54, parentheses, 3 divided by 2, parenthesis, the last one is 32 divided by 1. Now, if you do this, you'll never get it wrong if you plug in the right numbers. Okay, so now I just plugged in those brackets, just like parentheses. So each one of these is a parenthesis, like that, and I just multiplied them all. Okay, so multiply, 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 and then this means divide, essentially. Okay, and then the answer, 7.83. Bingo. What it means is if you put in 20 grams of potassium chlorate, you put in 20 grams, you're going to get 7.83. Pretty useful for us in chemistry to be able to say that. All right. We'll do another problem here on your worksheet. All right, so I'll set you up here on your worksheet and then we'll do one without. Okay, so you have 25 grams. So here's your worksheet. What you need, you have 25 grams of sodium hydroxide. How many grams of NaOH will you want to form? Okay, so 25 grams is what I was given. That goes on the left. I want to find grams of NaOH. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to add up Na2 and O, put that right there. So Na is 22.99 plus 16 times 2. So that's oxygen and sodium. All right, that's the molar mass. That's what 1 mole weighs. And I get 61.87. Okay, next bracket. What's the number out in front of Na2O? It's 1. What's the number in front of NaOH? It's 2. That's the mole ratio. Every time you get the blue brackets from the numbers out front. Okay, and then 1 mole, don't touch it. And then you add up Na, which is 22.99, plus oxygen, which is 16, plus hydrogen, which is 1.01. And that gets you to 40. All right, so now I can go to my calculator and plug that in, and you can see what you get. All right, same thing happens here for this problem. All right, just input the mass of NaOH, the mass of H2O, and what are the numbers in front here? 1 and 2. Where'd 2 come from? Came from right there. Okay, so that's gram to gram stoichiometry. If you were to do it without brackets, already set up for you, in the hard way would be, okay, well, if I'm given 3.65 grams of lithium, I want to find the grams of Li3N. All right, it's the same thing every time. Okay, grams go on the bottom here, 1 mole up top, 1 mole is going to be here, grams here of this substance. All right, so grams of lithium, 6.984. 6.94. All right, and lithium nitride, so 6.94 times 3 plus 14.01. That's going to be the mass that goes there. All right, let me do that quick. 34.83. All right, good so far. Now I go to my balanced chemical equation. the number on the bottom is whatever here. So it's 6 moles of Li on the bottom, and LiNO3 is 2 moles. All right, so this is literally the exact same thing, but we just didn't set up the brackets for you. All right, every time it's the same brackets, same brackets, same brackets. As long as you know what you are given and what you want to find, you have no problem setting this up. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go to your worksheet. Okay, go to your worksheet and just input all that stuff. All right, use your periodic table, use your scientific calculator. All right, that will walk you through everything that you need to know as far as what to do. So you got 6 problems. All right, there's your map. Same thing. So you're going to input where there's blanks, essentially, and the problems are all set up for you. All right. Pretty hard stuff, a lot of math. All right, but you guys got it as long as you just do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Pretty useful tool because once in chemistry, once we figure out, hey, here's what you can put in, here's what you can get out, you can do a lot of things with this. And we would have in class, if we would have lab, we would spend about a week doing lab. So let us know if you need help, guys. Take care.